Cowboys friends, family, and all you good people watching out there. What's going on? This is Switzer King. That is Joe Rod, my good man over at Cowboys blog. An amazing YouTube. I check out all his work, and we came together to get this thing going. And this is the second episode 2, right, Joe?
That's right.
Of the Cowboys Huddle or Cowboys Huddle. And on this, and what we try to do over here is we try to bring this YouTube community together. And it's unfiltered, it's unscripted. It's just us talking Cowboys without an agenda, not trying to get clicks. We just want good quality dialect between two Cowboys fans and other Cowboys fans, other YouTubers who really just want to come in and speak with us. So, you know what I mean? Jump in the comments, hit Joe's comments, go follow his page. All my subscribers, go subscribe to his page. He does amazing work. He takes it. He cares about the Cowboys, and he puts out very unbiased stuff. So, with all that good stuff out the way, Joe, let's hit it hard. And over the weekend, we had rookie minicamp, and like I said, I did a video on my page just about what rookies are kind of going through. Jason Garrett runs a tight ship, and he runs a very up and up type of a practice. So I saw a lot, I read a lot. But Joe, what are your thoughts from this rookie minicamp? Who you might have heard that stood out? What are some things that you may have, that you got a vibe for from this rookie minicamp 2017 draft class?
I think it sounds like we did good with the draft class. All indications came out that, everybody's pleased with the draft class, Ryan Switzer was a standout there, catching the ball all over the place. That's exciting to me, man. I am pumped about that guy. We talked about that last video, and he's one of my favorite guys, and to hear that he's looking good. I know this is just players practicing in the air, no 7-on-7s and that kind of thing, but they're trying to get their feet under them, bringing them along slowly, like we talked about, and I think that's the right way to go. And obviously the secondary guys, they got good reviews here. Cheeto and Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods getting props here, and even some of the free agent guys, Lucas Wacha, the linebacker out of Wyoming.
Good hit, Joe. Good hit.
Yeah, so Brian brought us like what he saw out of that from DallasCowboys.com. So that's good. We like to hit on some of these undrafted guys. Joseph Jones is another undrafted guy that they like there. And but along with these practices, some guys, they don't show up. Like they cut 2 guys here that they signed. They let go of Coe, the center, and then they also they let go of him, and then they brought in MJ McFarland because he was there in a tryout.
That's amazing to me that kid wasn't going to take this serious, Joe?
Yeah, that's what it's all about, man. These guys, they came on as a tryout, and now they're part of the practice squad, I guess you could say, for the rookies. MJ McFarland, tight end, played at Texas and then over there at UTEP. So the Cowboys, they like to keep this roster churning, and that's Will McClay, man. His magic. He likes to keep it going, bringing in talent, and then Jahad Thomas. Sounds like they're getting some good vibes out of him. I think he's gonna be there in the mix, man, for the running backs there. I'm still not so sure that Alfred Morris will be here when everything's all said and done. Jahad Thomas could be somebody for us. He's speedy. He's got quickness to him. I like what I've seen from him in some of his games. So
maybe a Dunbar type.
Yeah, Dunbar type, and probably better. As long as he can get his pass blocking, something that Dunbar wasn't really that good at.
He wasn't.
Yeah, so if they can get him up and going, might be something there to that guy. But
Joe, I want to ask you something really, really quick.
Yeah,
you hit Switzer hard. Let Cowboys fans know. Let them understand and give them. What is it the importance of a Switzer pick as far as maybe what could happen with Cole Beasley getting hurt, the things that he could possibly do as a running back. You know, he played running back in high school.
Right.
What does he mean really? Like, how important was this pick for us?
I mean, you hit it right on the head. That's exactly what it is. Plus, these Cowboys, man, they're being so methodical with their picks. You know, you're talking about Cole Beasley. He's already getting up here in his late 20s.
Wow.
You keep this talent coming in, man. You keep it coming. And most importantly, though, Beasley's such a big part of this offense with Dak that if he goes down, that's a big weapon for Dak. And, you know, Dak said that he liked this guy, you know, that he's going to be a good weapon for him. And you got to like that kind of stuff coming from your starting quarterback. He knows how to utilize that guy. And run after catch, this guy, I think he's a little bit better than Beasley, to be honest. He's a little bit more polished. You know, Beasley was undrafted. But he turned into something really good for us. But Switzer, I think he comes into the league already a little bit more polished than what, you know, Beasley did. So definitely giving us depth, another playmaker there, somebody who can hit home runs for us. That's what we need. We need a lot of weapons, put pressure on the NFC East. And that's what we got to do. We got to keep the pressure on those guys and open up the running game and kill all these guys.
I agree, bro.
Yeah. Man, so speaking of the NFC East, let's go over some of the guys that they drafted. I want to talk about, like, who they drafted and who do you think are going to be playmakers for those guys. As much as we hate them, we got to study up on these guys to see, you know, did they make good draft picks? Did they do bad? What do you think, man? What do you think about their picks?
That's a great segue, though. And to me, you know, like you said, the hate, the love, well, you got to know your opponent. And, you know, the draft is one thing that I love. And not just the NFC East, not just the NFC, the AFC. You think about one of my favorite drafts of this whole class was the Chargers. I think they had a very good draft. But same focus with the NFC East. Listen. This division is drafting to beat the Cowboys, to attack our weaknesses in the secondary, and to obviously gear up to stop Ezekiel Elliott. So, got my notes here, Joe. We're prepared. And without giving too long of an answer, I'll just go team by team. And this is on my YouTube channel. I did an NFC East breakdown of everybody's draft in the division. But I can give a kind of a shorter scale version of that, just for time purposes. So, I thought that the Giants had a decent draft. I thought that they could have hit linebacker better. Where they picked that, I believe that, what's my boy's name from Alabama? He was still on the board. He fell. Ruben Foster, excuse me. He was still on the board. He fell. I think that would have been great value for the Giants. I think they picked like 22. They picked early 20s. That would have been great value for them. They pretty much have had terrible middle linebacker play. I also thought that Garrett Bowles could have been an option because I think Denver picked after them and they picked Garrett Bowles. And obviously, if Cowboys fans know and NFC East fans know, the Eric Flowers situation over there for the Giants isn't really working out. And I get that a lot of Giants fans are happy about them grabbing a tight end in Evan Ingram. The problem with that is you have Odell who needs the ball, you have Brandon Marshall who needs the ball, and you have a declining Eli. Throw may not be the best idea for the Giants moving forward. You're thinking about a guy who's pretty much it's been recently, and I think the last 5 years, 2 years, he's led the league in picks. So that's not good. Eli's on the decline. He had the worst QBR last year in the East. So, you know, just thinking about the Giants, I think they could have hit, you know, running back higher. They got a guy, Wayne Gallman, from Clemson. Still a player, not a great player. Reminds me a little bit of a poor man's DeMarco Murray coming out.
Yeah,
so I think I would give them a C plus B. Take that for what it's worth. I think Philly actually had a good draft. Now, a lot of Philly fans don't like the Barnett pick, but to me, I look at a guy who doesn't have the athletic measurables, doesn't have this, and that, and the third, but he has the production. And I've bought into this philosophy that when it comes to D linemen, defensive ends, whatever, production over projection. The fact that he's actually got the numbers, the sack totals, this, that, and the third. I think that Philly hit that out the park. Now, a lot of them wanted a Dalvin Cook or maybe a receiver at this point or, a higher rated corner, but I love this production right here. And that's obviously maybe a pick to stop Zeke and to get to Dak. So I think they did it. They pulled also a Cowboys move with drafting Sidney Jones, the Washington DB, who's probably going to redshirt this year. He may try to rush back from his Achilles injury. I wouldn't, but you never know what could happen. Rasul Douglas, I like that pick, a long corner from West Virginia, because obviously Philly needs corner help. They lost Nolan Carroll to us, and they just haven't been good at that position. And then Mac Hollins, I like the kid from UNC. Between him and Switzer, pretty two decent receivers that help Mitch Trubisky out a lot. So I think that was good. Donnell Pumphrey, he's pretty much like a Darren Sproles clone. So I would give them a B minus, a B plus. But my favorite draft in this division, and this is me being very unbiased. See, that's what you get when you listen to the Cowboys Huddle. You get unbiased opinion.
That's right.
I like the Skins draft a lot, Joe. Now that organization is a mess.
Yeah.
General manager, how are they going to develop these guys? I personally don't think that Grude's a good coach. He's okay, but I'll say that for another show. But just off where I had these guys graded and what they could be, barring injury, Jonathan Allen, beast. No other way around it. Beast. Not a combine guy, not a underwear Olympics guy, but he's a beast. The production is there. Plays with his hands very well. That battle between him and Travis Frederick, depending on how they move him around, that will be a good battle moving forward.
Yeah.
Ryan Anderson, good defensive end. Not a pass rush type of a guy, but a guy who will more or less get to the quarterback. Not get to the quarterback, but finish on rushing down and kind of more or less just bring an attitude. But the Fabian Moreau pick and the Samaje Perine pick were two of my favorites because I like Fabian Moreau, has good hips, good corner. So to get him in the third round, great value. And then Samaje Perine, a running back at the Skins, like kind of similar to what they have now. And what was the rookie's name that they had last year? It escapes my mind, but nonetheless, what was that kid's name?
The one from Florida.
Yeah, I forget his name.
Kept fumbling the ball, man. I love that.
Kind of similar to Matt Jones, plays with power.
Oh yeah.
Hit the whole heart. So that's kind of my short version. I don't know how long I took there to answer that, but nonetheless, I do like the Skins draft, and I think all in all, the NFC East is going to be just a great division to watch. But they're all obviously chasing the Cowboys, so that's my answer right there, Joe Rod. So and just segueing off of that, the draft and you trying to build your team. When you think about the Cowboys, if it's one position, obviously DB, we have a lot of questions. But backup quarterback, though, I thought that Dallas would have been more aggressive drafting a quarterback. What are your thoughts on our backup quarterback situation? Where are we? Kellen Moore, how do you feel about him? Are we going to bring in a free agent? What are you thinking? What are you hearing? Talk to me, Joe.
Yeah, so the backup quarterback position, I think they're good with, honestly, everything you hear from Scott Linehan, that's his boy. And he knows the system.
Boy, man.
Yeah, he knows his system. So he's been behind, Stafford, a really good quarterback, been behind Romo, another good quarterback here, and then watch what Dak did, from the sideline, obviously. I mean, he's soaking it in. Now, the question will be, they got to give this guy some live reps. How much are they going to use him in the preseason? Do they want to risk injury with him if they do that? But for me, I need to see more from him. But I think I'm comfortable where we're at with quarterback position. Now, that's not to say that the Cowboys won't want to look to add somebody. They're going to get $14 million from cap relief from the Romo release. So they're talking about flipping some of that money and locking up Zach Martin. But you also have money there where you can, pick up a free agent guy, throw him in the mix if you want. But I don't know if we're gonna, roll with 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's tricky.
Yeah, I think they're gonna want to go a little deeper, maybe at wide receiver, maybe cornerback. I mean, defense. It's gonna be a tricky thing here, but I think ultimately they're gonna wait, to see how everything plays out here. If he doesn't look good in the preseason, or knock on wood, something happens in training camp, I think after that we'll look at free agents, and then you have roster cuts also at the end of preseason. There might be somebody there that they like, but as it stands right now, it doesn't look like they're gonna make any moves for a backup quarterback. They like the Central Michigan guy, Rush, as a developmental guy. So we'll see what happens there. But what do you think, man? What do you think about the backup QB position?
I think you hit it on the head. And, wild card, I'm telling you, if something were to happen to that, Tony's a wild card to come out of that booth for me.
No, that's true.
What to say,
that's a good point.
That would be interesting to watch, right there.
No, it is, and that's kind of what they've been saying, that he is the real number 2 from the booth. So we'll see, man. That's an interesting thing,
It's interesting, and I think that the Cowboys should be smart now. Kellen, when he had a game though. He had 2 games. He had a game in 2014 where Tony. I always call that's the Tony Romo hostage year, because we sucked so bad with trying to get Matt Castle during the middle of the year and doing all this crap. So we were just we were literally held hostage by Tony Romo. And then even thinking about last year, we almost got held hostage again if it wasn't for Dak being so prepared. Now fast forward, I think the Cowboys should be smarter moving forward and really know, is Kellen, is he just a flood? We need to have a guy comparable to Dak, for me, simply because if something happens to Dak plays physical, he likes to get after it. If something happens, we got to be ready. I saw a game against the Bills 2 years ago. He would move the ball, then he would look this kind of like what would happen with Kellen Moore was like he would move the ball running out of nowhere. He just would look like he was like a little leaguer playing with grown men.
Yeah.
Like that kept happening. Even in the Skins game, he threw for a bunch of yards in that game late in the season. The game didn't mean anything. And obviously he didn't have his full repertoire of weapons. But you get my point. It's just one of those things. It's like, is Kellen Moore really an answer if something bad happens? Because Dallas, the way it works with our organization, you don't take. It's not like you get a chance to take a season off. Cowboys fans don't allow that. So that's my thoughts on it.
What do you think about some of the, some fans throwing out names like Kaepernick or RG3? You think any of these guys would be guys that they bring in later, possibly, if they're still available? What do you think about those guys?
No.
No, both? Yeah.
Just because maybe, I could see Cap. I see the fit. I think Cap's also a great person, too, in everything he's trying to do. I get it. Griffin, I don't think that Griffin's a proud. I don't think he can even digest the playbook really anymore.
There's something wrong with him there.
Yeah, Griffin, his time passed him. So to me, no. Yeah. It's all season talk, though.
Yeah, anything could happen, man. One guy that we did miss, though, that we do need to talk about is Rico Gathers. All right. Yeah. So jumping back here a little bit, back to rookie minicamp. What do you think about him, man? Do you think he's getting a little bit overhyped, or what do you think, man? Do you think he's going to be the real deal, or are fans' expectations too high right now for him? Like, we haven't seen him in a full preseason game. We've seen some of it, right, in preseason last year, but what do you think about the expectations right now for him?
All right, Joe Rod, I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to let you hit this one hard. And I quote Will McClay, when you see a guy killing your number one, now granted, this was with Tony Romo, but we couldn't stop him. I watched the Will McClay interview, and those are his exact words, that Rico Gathers was killing our one. He's at such an advantage running behind the general, which is Jason Witten. I watched a clip the other day of him playing a basketball game. I think it's on Twitter.
Oh yeah, was he?
You saw that? Did
Yeah,
you see it?
yeah.
It was pretty awesome. And just like that type of athleticism at that size is unreal. Him being able to, jump out the gym. A lot of guys can dunk or whatever, but it was so swift, so explosive. I truthfully do believe that everything that we're hearing, like Will McClay was the one that kind of took it over the top for me.
I agree.
He was a guy who was about business. I love it. I love his quote. I love you like a brother, but my job is to replace you. So when he's saying something like that about Rico, I think it's real. What do you think, though?
No, I totally agree. I mean, we're talking about the main talent evaluator. With Will McClay, I mean, he's not going to bring in just some scrubs or whatever. These are guys that he has a reputation to keep up here within the organization. So him putting that stamp on a player by saying that, this guy is, they can't stop him. That carries a lot of weight, man. I think it's going to be something exciting to see in the preseason.
Yeah, very exciting. And so, just to me, it's one of those deals where it's just something for us to look forward to, man. So, and it's a lot of things for the fans to look forward to as well. And I think that's what me and you bring. I think that's just the Cowboys in general. It's good to be around educated fans and fans who want to just have these conversations and everybody who supports us. So I think that's going to be a wrap for today, Joe.
Yeah, that's good. I think we want to do like a Q&A for our next video. So you guys, let us know what questions you have, and we'll answer them for the next Cowboys Huddle.
Yeah. Next Cowboys Huddle, we'll hit the Q&A. Maybe we'll throw in some topics as well. I know. Thank you guys for going with us. Me and Joe, we just came together with this idea, and we're learning as we go. I'm going to post one from my YouTube. He's going to post one from his. We'll kind of take turns leading it and just kind of like hosting it. But at the end of the day, I'm a big fan of Joe's work, and we're just trying to build this together. Maybe one day we can get this to podcast form so you guys can listen on the go. And you don't always have to have your YouTube app open. And just thank you guys for subscribing. Make sure you guys, everybody on my channel, make sure you guys go hit Joe up right now at Cowboys.net. Cowboys blog, I'm sorry, right, Joe?
Cowboys blog, yeah.
He does a great blog, and he just hits a lot of topics. And like I said, I'm a fan of his work. So, Cowboys Huddle, we are signing out episode 2. Next Wednesday, we will be releasing episode 3.